Good morning, Cody Frost. Well, here it's about 9:30ish a.m. I'm in the oh so huge country of the USA, and I just want to say a few things to you. I first discovered your amazing vocal ability on The Voice, as a lot of people did, and there's a lot of layers to what you do. And some background on me, I was a guitar player for decades, and I lost the feeling in my fingertips, so I can't play anymore. I can play bass, but not guitar. But I was in chorus and in school, stuff like that. And I had a voice, but I really just didn't want to go through a lot of the stuff that artists do. I had the opportunity to become a professional tournament bass fisherman at one point in the 80s, which I could have done. I was in my late teens, and I just didn't have motivation for it. And I've been listening to various forms of music since the 70s. I was born in 72. I'm almost 52. But I've always had a very heavy metal, very punk rock, goth rock background. I've appreciated all the music, the Fleetwood Macs, the Rush, Journey, like every prototypical rock and progressive rock, and those other genres on top of the gothic and the punk styles. So it was very refreshing to see somebody. You were 17 when you entered the competition. In fact, you turned 18 during the competition. That had like a range like you did. And I want you to know, the one song that you performed that you were disappointed with. Yeah, you can say that it wasn't your best, but there's lots of times that stars are on stage and they don't do their best. In fact, there's a lot of times they have to lip sync because they're not doing their best. So don't ever dishearten yourself by thinking that you're anything less than what you need to be at any given time, because you did perfectly fine on that performance. So I kind of fast forward. I kind of got off the Cody train because here in America, life is kind of being a real pain in the ass right now. So, I've had to concentrate on things, and, I've still listened to music in the background. I have a Bluetooth at work. I work in a lab environment, so I don't really have to, excuse me for a second. I really don't have to worry about not being entertained at work while I'm doing my drudgery of tasks. And I was just like out of curiosity. I'm like, I wonder what the goth girl from The Voice is doing. So I had to research again because I'd forgotten the name. I'm sorry, I'm old. It happens. And it came back up, and lo and behold, on YouTube and YouTube Music, Cody Frost material. And I was like, okay, well, let's check this out. And she's in her early 20s now. Let's see what's up. And I gotta say, you still have some really cool music. You still got the edge with the look and all that, which is kick-ass. I was Mr. Doc Martens in all black in the 80s. I was super goth and super stoner. I was always stoned. And I gotta say, I'm impressed. I really sincerely hope that everything you do bears fruit, and that you have a great career. And understand something that you may not always see with stars. They are human. A lot of people put them up on pedestals. They're just like anybody else. They just happen to have a talent that they use, and they happen to have a decent amount of money, which is not as much these days. The music industry has changed a lot. Streaming services have actually hampered a lot of revenue for singers. The tours are what really make them the money these days. I have a lot of respect for people that release their own music and demand payment for it, because the field with digital everything these days is just so much different. So if you can forge your way into a good income with the career that you're doing, I hope that that happens for you, because it is hard for musicians of every kind to make money like they used to. Even session musicians are having a harder time now because a lot of stuff is streamed. A lot of artists are going back to putting stuff on LPs on vinyl, because vinyl's gotten this massive resurgence. I think they should bring compact discs back, or at least allow paid for downloads on disc or something at a higher amount than they are now with the advent of the streaming services. But I think you got a solid place. I mean, your talent with your voice, the emotive content that you put into what you do is absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, it's on par with other people that have done stuff in the past that have not been what would be considered mainstream, like Billy Idol, David Bowie, ska bands like No Doubt. I mean, the lead singer of that band still to this day is phenomenal. She's badass, right? And she's been a judge on talent shows, especially The Voice, right? So I think you're really just in that, that whole like punk rock avant garde type music. I listen to a lot of stuff like Black Flag, the Cro-Mags, Agnostic Front, which was kind of metal and punk at the same time. Henry Rollins by himself with himself and his band. Just a lot of stuff. Rancid. I mean, you just have kind of that hard edge, but you still have this tenderness behind that, which is not always easy to convey vocally. And you do a fantastic job at it. So please don't stop. From an older individual that still appreciates the core of what a singer and a musician does, I gotta tell you, it's not as common anymore to have people out there like you that are willing to go and do something that not everybody's doing. It's appreciated on the part of people that enjoy musicality, and I sincerely hope you're successful at it. I really do.